Welcome back. You're still watching the Breakfast Show. After difficult years suffered by the tourism sector, especially after the 2011 revolution, tourism is returning to normalcy and already achieving high rates during the presidency of President Sisi, and because of well-planned strategies by the government and the private sector to upgrade that vital sector. This is very obvious, especially in the Red Sea, where tourism flow is getting back strongly again. Red Sea resort city of Sharm el-Sheikh has and is continuing to host many world celebrities. Of course, CAF, the Confédération Africaine de Football, has decided to hold the awards ceremony in January of 2020 in Hurghada, again confirming the return to normalcy to tourism in Egypt, especially after Egypt hosted the most successful CAN tournament of all time this past summer. To talk to us about tourism is one of the country's leading experts in this field, Mr. Ahmed Badr, who's with us here in our Nile TV International Studios. Good morning, Mr. Badr. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you and all the audience.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. So let's start with the World Tourism and Travel Council, which has praised Egypt's efforts in promoting tourism, highlighting the importance of this sector globally as an engine of economic growth. So, sir, how do you evaluate the government's efforts to promote tourism?
Well, I have to say it was Egypt's expert now in crisis management in tourism since what we had in 2011 and
Yes.
all the incidents after that. The tourism numbers were significantly decreased. In 2010 we had almost 14.5 million tourists. That number went down to almost around 5 million in the years after 2011. We saw an increase starting from 2017 with almost 8 million tourists.
Yes.
Last year we had 11.3 million tourists. This year we already passed 10 million tourists. So we're expecting by the end of the year, especially the high season, season will start 1st of October. So we're expecting even to have almost 13 million or even more. So that, from my perspective, is a very good crisis management by the Egyptian government. Any country in the world that has instability politically and economically and insecurity, definitely they will not have any tourism. Definitely they will not have any investments or any kind of services and industries. Tourism, it's a very fragile industry. People will travel only if they have the feeling that this destination is safe and stable. This is for sure. So after 2014, after President Sisi be the president of Egypt, he and all the ministers in charge did a very good job in this. The strategy and all the efforts done to restore security, to restore stability, to restore relations with other countries. That was the main reason for tourism to be back in 2017. It took some time, but definitely it will have to be some time until security and stability restored. But again, the numbers are not lying. We are seeing a significant increase. And the WTTC, they recognize this efforts from Egypt by having it the role model of crisis management to the rest of the world.
Yes.
They even, a few months ago in Sri Lanka, they had some terrorist attacks and they had almost the same crisis. So they told Sri Lanka to get the same role model of Egypt and to
That's the WTTC.
exactly,
Yeah.
and to implement it to get through this crisis they had a few months ago, and nowadays they are doing very well and they're almost back to normal. So
Great.
this is how important and how successful the strategy we had in Egypt by the president and the rest of the government.
Indeed. Mr. Badr, how do you evaluate the signs of return to normalcy to tourism, especially in the Red Sea?
Tourism, without saying, is one of the most important national income for Egypt. The importance of it is it goes directly to the people. You have almost 2 million people working in the tourism sector directly, and even more working indirectly, because tourism is like the train for 70 other industries. You name it. Because tourism is people coming to stay for a while, but they need all means of life. Food, beverage,
Shopping.
sheets, shopping,
yeah.
everything. So if you have tourism, you have 70 industries working, and so many industries were affected.
Transportation,
Many things, even soft beverages, everything,
Right.
everything.
Right.
So and many industries suffered really in the past years after 2011 from the decreased numbers of tourism. Now it's back. Even mobile phones. You know, this is even mobile phones.
Yeah.
I mean the communication companies.
The Red Sea, Mr.
And the
Badr,
Red Sea, of course, you have many cities on the Red Sea: Sharm el-Sheikh, Hurghada, Marsa Alam, Ain Sokhna, with thousands of hotels and millions of people working there in the hotels, in tourism, and even outside. It's cities. It's like Hurghada. It's a city. So if it's working, so the man outside who is having a small restaurant or a small kiosk, he will be affected by decrease and increase of tourism. See, this is how important it is. So definitely, this tourism coming back, that means you have 2 million families that they will benefit from this. 2 million families that they were affected by this, and now they are like breathing again. That's a breath to the people and a breath to the Egyptian economy itself. And you don't need any investments or any means of pushing new money or new investments, because you have it already. Of course, we need new investments to bring more tourists and do more attractions and have new kinds of tourism. But for now, we have all the infrastructure for it. We have the hotels ready, you have the transportations, we have even now the new roads, which makes our life easier. We have everything you need. Even the national carrier, Egypt Air, they got new aircrafts, which is very good and a very important investment.
Do you think that we need to open new destinations for
Sure.
Egypt Air and
Sure.
as Latin America to encourage tourists to come from these places?
Sure, definitely, they have
Yes.
to.
Do we have these plans?
I know they have plans. They had plans for flights to, especially Brazil.
Yes.
That was in 2010, and then it was frozen, and now it's coming back to the
Such
pipes
a big
again.
market. I mean, such a big
It is.
population there. And,
It
you know.
is. It is. It's very big population, a good economy, and they hungry to travel, and especially to this region. You will be shocked about the numbers going from Brazil to Emirates, let's say, and to Lebanon, and because they're the Brazilians from Lebanese origin are more than the Lebanese in Lebanon itself.
Wow.
So they travel almost every year, and this is, you know,
I think the
it's
same
very
thing is said for Argentina as well in a way or another.
Exactly. So this is a very good market, a new market that we need to really get benefit of. We need to, of course, you know, tourism is a continuous thing. You know, you cannot just say this is enough. No, it's not enough. It's always
the Asian market, Mr. Badr, in the past years has grown, hasn't it?
Of course, especially the Chinese market. I think last year, 2018, Egypt came second, the second favorite destination for Chinese travelers.
Wow.
And China is
a huge market. That's the huge market, the biggest in the world.
1.3 billion people. So
Yeah.
if you're targeting only 10%, this is, you mean 130 million travelers. So if we as Egypt, we took just 1% of that,
that's
that
13 million.
Exactly. So, so it's
sir,
a huge market.
Tell us more about preparations for the winter season and the coming winter season and reservations.
Reservations are, in the first time in many years, we can see ahead.
Yes.
So I have to tell you, reservations are going very, very well. Even the Christmas and New Year season is already booked throughout Egypt. Hotels, resorts, boats, everything. So it's very hard now to get a place and a flight ticket from anywhere to Egypt. It's very busy. Yes. So it's very good news to everybody.
We hope it becomes better also.
There's something here, Mr. Badr, and I want to follow up on Shireen's question and ask also not only about the winter season, but about the autumn that we are going to be officially in next week. So what about late September, October, November? What are the destinations that you would advise in these periods, October, November?
Well, the high season officially starts in 1st of October, although we're having an increase in numbers starting from middle of September. And we're having some good things happening around, like Guna Film Festival, which is attracting some of the big names around the world. I mean, I think they invited the Egyptian actor, Egyptian-Canadian actor Mina Masoud, who played the role of Alauddin in the movie, the latest movie, Alauddin. It was a big hit around the world. So, but I don't know who they invited for the closing. But anyway, inviting such, names and people and these things happening and celebrities.
Actually, many celebrities visited Egypt in the past few years.
And this is also gave the idea of stability and security to Egypt and encouraged other travelers to come. So even the season itself, it's like up and down. You have October, this is the start, and then November it's going up even more than October, and then first half of
December. The weather is very nice in November.
It is. First half of December usually it's a bit low, and then gets really high, or as we say, peak period during the Christmas and New Year, and then getting a bit slow again, and then February, March, it's high again, and then April goes down a little bit. So it's even the season goes like waving up and down.
I want to ask Mr. Badr about a comparison at the moment between like local tourism and foreign tourism. Some get the sense that yes, the prices are very attractive to foreigners, but because of the inflation and the economic pressures, that local tourism might be, maybe, and you're the expert, so you're going to tell us, but might be suffering a bit, local tourism. Is that the case? Or it could be better. I mean, if the tourism industry makes special sites for Egyptians at maybe lower prices, we could have a boom in local tourism in parallel with foreign tourism.
Well, the problem with local tourism or domestic tourism is, first of all, it's a supply and demand market, the tourism. So now we have more demand from the foreigners, and the foreigners usually they work through travel companies. So if you go to a travel company, that means this travel company is working with other travel company here. So they have like mass production. So to buy like 20 rooms for a year, of course they will give you a discount. But as an Egyptian, usually we prefer to go individually.
Right.
So you go only to have one room for even a week. So definitely you'll have it for a higher price.
Yeah.
Besides that, depends on the time of the year that you will go. Is it really high? Is it low? Is it summer? Is it winter? Is it the mid-year vacation? So it depends.
So domestic tourism is not expensive if you are not going in the high season, but it is somehow, between brackets, or relatively expensive if you are going for five-star destinations in high seasons.
Exactly, and that's why I hope to see more 4 and 3 and 2 stars around Egypt, because this is the case in let's say around Europe. You'll find the 2, 3 and 4 stars much more than 5 stars. Because
that's what I was asking for.
Exactly.
I mean, shouldn't tourism companies work for this, attract more and more Egyptian tourists as well? At different levels, because not all Egyptians are from the same financial background. So the 5, the 4, the 3, the 2.
They should, and they should keep this market, because that's the market that
very sustainable.
Very sustainable, and many hotels and many destinations survived the past years by the Egyptian market, by the local market. So, and you find many Egyptians, they have the means and they have the power to travel and to stay and to enjoy themselves. And that's another thing also is traveling.
Because sometimes,
traveling
Mr.
expenses
Badr,
itself.
Sorry, Shireen, for
okay.
continuing to ask, but it's really sometimes mind-boggling. Sometimes we Egyptians find that going abroad to some destinations, some beautiful destinations outside, is actually cheaper than spending time in our beloved, beautiful country, which we consider the most beautiful in the world, and we want to stay here. We don't want to go outside, but sometimes it's cheaper to go outside than to go to good places in Egypt.
Because this is, again, when you travel abroad, you go to a travel company. That means they already bought, like...
they have the discount ready for you.
Exactly. So it's the same for the tourism coming to Egypt. It's the same thing for you traveling out of Egypt. That means a company bought an airplane, some hotel rooms, so they have a big discount that will allow them to sell in attractive prices. And again, the other thing that keeping Egyptians from traveling around Egypt is traveling expenses itself. If sometimes in the past period we had some really good deals, and especially Nile cruises and Luxor and Aswan and Sharm el-Sheikh. So okay, it's a very attractive price, but then traveling by airplane, that will this will keep you
because prices
very
of
expensive.
Plane
So
tickets.
this is something that I hope that the national carrier will look at it.
Yes.
Because it's not just their benefits, but also the benefit of the rest of the tourism sector. Because now if you can find the air ticket is this between Cairo, Luxor, or Cairo, Aswan. It's the same price, more or less.
Going to Lebanon.
Exactly, or going to Oman.
Plane tickets have skyrocketed.
Yes.
So
in the past
it is.
years.
So people will
about
ask,
the African Union, right?
Yes.
Before we go, because I think we're
We
almost
have
out
running,
of time.
yes, we have only 3 minutes, yeah.
So, sir, the CAF celebration, the awards ceremony in January next year in Hurghada. Talk to us about that and that great honor again that Egypt naturally deserves after hosting that great tournament.
Exactly,
this past summer.
it's logic to have it here after the great
Can
tournament here. Everybody said it's the best one.
Yeah.
So this is a very logical decision to have the awards ceremony here in Hurghada, and to show people, you know, our dear Africans, that we don't just have Cairo and Alexandria and Ismailia and Suez that they already saw, but we already have other destinations. We have the beautiful Red Sea, we have the beautiful Red Sea Mountains, which are one of the wonders of the world, I have to say. If you go there, if you have a safari there, you will get your mind blown away. It's really, really one of the best places to visit and to do adventures.
Finally,
Indeed.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Ahmed Badr, tourism expert. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and to all the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Dear viewers, please stay with us. Shireen and I will be back momentarily and talk about education in Egypt, the president's and the government's plans to develop that very vital sector as well.